Yesterday they did dirt one.
Okay, I'm going to call this meeting of the Missouri Valley Complex Committee to order. Steve, can you call the roll?
Olson. Yes. Warning.
Yes.
Dagger.
Yeah.
Peters. Railsec. Here. Litfeld. Grillo. Martinezson. Here. Aye. Jericho.
Here.
Warren. I'm sure.
Thank you. The minutes for the August 20th meeting were submitted via email. I'm sure everybody took a look at those, and I would entertain a motion or any additions or corrections to the minutes.
I move to approve the minutes from August 20th.
2025. We have a motion. Is there a second? All right. Motion and second to approve the August 20 minutes as submitted. All in favor, aye. Same size, same. Wow. Any against, same sign. Hearing none, the August minutes have been approved as submitted. I will now open the floor for public comment. And just a reminder, this is restricted to Burleigh County residents and landowners. So public comment on any items before you. Second call, public comment. Third call, public comment. Seeing as nobody is moving, I am going to close the public comment section of the agenda. I guess I also did not call for any changes or additions to the agenda as prepared. Seeing none, we will go forward. All right, as usual, Commissioner Munson, you are up.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Commission. So the first item is the budget, and if anybody took to watch the 5-hour session on Monday, your budget was approved as presented. So the one item that we took out of the budget here was phase 3. And so everything else was approved as is. So we are good to go for that. I promise we will start that budget hearing earlier with this group than I did last year. That's on me. The commission from 9-7, we did finish with a 4-1 vote. So we gained one. We're moving ahead a little bit better. A little more progress there. Right now, we are working with, and thank you to Steve for all of the documents he had sent to State's Attorney Lawyer. We are working on those documents for the Egg and Equestrian Group so that those can be worked on. I will apologize for her. She has -2 more attorneys, so her load has gotten larger, and we are not on top of the list. There are some other things that are 2 more people need to stay in jail, and that's the way that needs to be before we get to our group. But she has promised me that we will get the time to take care of that. Probably the way it works with Julie, one of the next days the court is not in session. She'll try to carve out some time for me, and we'll go meet with her. So, she's very well aware of it, and it's not top of mind, but it is there in front of her. So, and we will work on the leases, the land use, and the development agreement. But those are all obvious things to work on.
And I understand, or I assume, at the risk of assuming anything, that you will be working directly with representative from Missouri or from the Ag and Equestrian Center, specifically probably Alan, on going forward on that next process, correct?
Once we get the draft language from Julie, I will bring it here so that we all get a chance to look at it, and Alan very specifically, to look at it just before that's presented.
Yeah, I think I can't underscore enough that, again, the Ag and Equestrian Center is kind of the guinea pig on how to establish our chain of command in the process. So
I think it's working. It is working the way the commission asked for it to be done, even though they're not sure. But right, yeah, but So with that, questions?
Great.
Okay, so I have a question, just a clarified question. So the Julie Hoyer is working on a request for an operating agreement. Is this going to be specific to just the ag group, or is this the start for all groups?
Yep, this is a start for all. So
All new groups or existing?
So we're gonna work on the existing leases and use agreements to make sure that we have a document that is consistently used for those operations. The development agreement is one that is going to be generic in the beginning so that it can be used for the next group as well. Once we approve the draft basic language, then we will start working with Ag and Equestrian on very specifics. But we want to have all three of those documents fresh so that we're working on consistent documents.
Madam Chairman, Commissioner Munson, have you heard anything on that, pipeline they want to put in, that sewer line? Or
Or I have not had an update on,
they were going to do that last fall?
right. And I know they've started down by the airport and they're working backwards. I thought they were going to start up by us and move the other direction. So they are in a reversed order.
Is that drainage, for drainage or sewer?
That's sewer. Yep. If they're smart, they'll wait till it freezes and then go through. Because they won't have so many problems.
Right.
You don't want to go any dirt right now.
Nope.
Any other questions for the commissioner? Thing is none. You're released of your stand there quite early as compared to the last several meetings.
It's okay to have a good one every once in a while.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is an update from Swenson and Hagen. I anticipate that there's going to be several questions and comments as we hear your update, and I will thank the committee members ahead of time to be sure to use their microphones for that so we can adequately capture that on the camera.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, just to update from last month, we do have the mitigation results from more engineering. We're analyzing it right now. Speaking with Jason, he may be on his way in. He had a little family medical emergency he has to take care of, but he may be stopping by. What we'd like to do is take a look at those results and then also get maybe an unofficial subcommittee of
Your mic on?
Oh, sorry, there we go. Maybe an unofficial subcommittee of your group, 3 members or so, and we can have a Teams or a Zoom meeting with your group, more engineering and ourselves, that we can go through all the results and what everything means when they have all this mitigation results for everybody to look at and understand a little bit more completely, and then you can share with each other. We're also preparing, we have those results. Jason is writing up an email to kind of explain what we've been doing so far, so everybody has an understanding of where we're at. We are moving forward. Obviously, we've already submitted the preliminary plat. It's sort of been a holding pattern with city staff, waiting for those results, because those results are going to determine what kind of roadways we're going to have. If we have to completely avoid these wetlands or if we can work around them. We've been working with the Burley County engineer on a different project where wetlands are involved. And so they're a little bit more up to date on maybe some of the newer standards that are going to be required for mitigation. So we are moving forward, a little slow and painful sometimes, but we're hoping to have some better information soon.
Okay, so we have Moore has completed their work, and we're just kind of waiting in a holding pattern for kind of an overview.
Right.
Then you would expect for this group to establish a subcommittee of sorts to sit with Moore and your staff to go over that, and we're kind of waiting on the plat because of the unknown with the wetland.
Yeah, we don't want to start spending a lot or money and time doing plat changes and things like that, and then find out, well, it doesn't work anyway because the wetlands are causing problems. So we're
Right.
trying not to stick too much time into that right now.
What's your time frame? What would you like this group to decide on for when we would meet with you guys and more?
We hope within the next couple of weeks, if that's possible, for even if that subcommittee is just really unofficial, just picking a couple members and say, yes, you're going to be included in this. And then there's a few people that will be in the know before the next official meeting that you have.
Okay,
But we'd like to do that as soon as possible.
so should we anticipate at the October meeting that there would be a more formal presentation from either your staff or more on that? So this is just kind of a preliminary, what questions we might have originally that can be answered by the time we get to our October meeting?
That's correct.
Any questions on this agenda item? Well, that was quick and painless. Well, so is the process. So I will kick that out to the committee then. If there's any initial interest in sitting on a subcommittee, I know I would like to definitely hear the initial findings prior to the October meeting. Is there anybody that would like to join me in that? Okay. And Steve, maybe we could send out an email to the full committee since we are missing some of the staff or some of the committee members that see if there's an additional interest. Excellent. Moving right along, we had established a subcommittee last meeting to look at the future form, function, and operations of this group. And we had a few volunteers sit on that subcommittee. We were expecting kind of a report back from them in October-ish, possibly November. Two of the members on that committee are absent today. So in light of that, I would just put it out there that we'll table that agenda item until our October meeting. So we'll check that one off the list. And then agenda item number 8, discussion on the development of the activities and program report presentation to the county. We discussed this kind of at the last meeting that it would be kind of a good idea to present not necessarily an annual report, but essentially an annual report before the county commission. I believe we had targeted one of the November meetings for the whole commission. As chair, I volunteered to make that presentation. And I guess I would like to gather some ideas from around the table of how you would prefer for me to gather that information. Is it something that we want to identify as an agenda item in October to have a general discussion? Is there meetings, how would you like me to get the information that we should share to the county?
What? So my first thought, sorry, the cough dropped in. It coming from 4-H anyway. Our stuff is pretty digital. So like if you were making a deck, like slide deck,
Yep.
you had a slide about 4-H, we could send pictures from our local achievement days. We have our counts because we already have a full page 8x10 or 8.5 by 11 page, a regular piece of paper. It tells you how many kids were there, how many was in each category, how many pets, how many show rabbits, all that. So, and that's a beautiful flyer. So we already,
Perfect.
literally email it to you right now. What else do we have? Like that from the 4-H aspect is all digital. Super easy.
I was gonna say maybe not right now. I might need a couple minutes. No, you're right. But yeah, on that side of things, if you need help trying to develop that presentation, any of those things, that's one thing. If you're wanting, I'm more than happy to help out. And then not just 4-H side, but we have our reporting. I'm sure some of these other things might have that too. But yeah, we definitely can help with you on that side.
Yeah, because I envision a slide deck of sorts. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time before the commission on it, but to weave a good story, ultimately touching on the points of this is economic development. This is for an entire community. It brings in people from all over the place. So that would be the goals of the presentation. I'm guessing Buckshot Junction has how many events and that sort of thing. Do you keep track of, does Buckstop keep track of, let's say there's the Apple Fest or whatever? Yeah. Do you have the details on the participation there, or was that something that if you gave me a list of the organizations that had events out there, I would be able to track that down?
Yeah, we have Apple Jam is the cancer center. We don't have anything to do with them. And then Woodstock is the other big event that we have out there. And then Furry Friends would be the one that you'd have to see how many people came in with them.
But you would have a list of what events came in as a starting point?
Yep.
Okay. Good. I would also like from all of those that have events out there, you know, what are your greatest needs? What are your pain points? Because that's one of the points of this committee is to bring together all of the interests of what we can do out there to make the facility support everybody. So a list of those would be helpful too.
A digital, yeah,
We would like a digital sign that we can update with information. Yeah, that's current. I mean, what's on there now is current. You can call that phone number and join 4-H. I mean, that's legit. But we'd like to be able to advertise Woodstock or any.
we are looking at,
So maybe they'll buy us one. Thank you. Yeah, Sally, for volunteering.
no,
Oh,
you know how much those things are?
yeah. Well, that's why Wayne could tell us.
I quoted it about 4 years ago.
Yeah,
Was it
they're,
like 20,000 or something just to update that?
no.
100.
120.
So we are looking at sign that we have out in the field. You can buy, and you can patch them together. They're LED. They're not the greatest, but they work. And they're different sizes and you can upgrade them. So if one panel goes out, you just replace that panel. We're looking at doing that to our sign instead of having to run a big electronical sign like he's got or that they do. And all we need is electricity out there, and that's just running down, putting a meter on, and that way you can advertise everything. So if that's something, instead of going with your big expensive sign, if that's something that the committee would help us out with, we're willing to give up our big sign out there so we can advertise everything out on that property.
So this is the kind of conversations I look forward to with this committee.
Because I know when you're doing your signs, there's a whole litigation of traffic and all of that, and it's a nightmare going through the process to get one of those signs up. I worked in traffic. Yeah.
So how do you get around that? Is that because you're putting it on your rented or lease?
No, you still have to go through that, but since it's not as big as your guys' signs, it might not be as bad, but you still have to go through, is it gonna hinder traffic? Is it gonna interfere with the traffic? Oh, yeah, it's all.
So the track, is there, you having events out there? And how can we best give an update of what you have going on?
Yeah, we have interests of people, some say it's holding events, some say no. I think it's a little bit of both right now. We're trying to get, the group is, there's comprised of a few different people weighing in, but they're wondering what the direction is. I mean, are there gonna be rows out there? Is there gonna be a bathroom out there? Is there, this hasn't happened for 20 years. We don't expect it's gonna happen now.
There's a lot of distrust out there, yeah.
My answer to them is always, yes, it is. This time it's different. This time it's different. So that's kind of where that's at. They're wondering. And again, I was talking to Steve, like, how do we take the first steps to get
Right.
some sort of a agreement in place or something like that as well?
And that's where too, I think that going before the commission and providing such a report like, and including that can help quell some of that distrust and concern that this is legit, it's real and moving forward. So I definitely want to make sure, and that's where I say, if there's pain points and needs, include that. We are going over on the end of the year kind of presentation to the commission and how I can gain information and data points to put together a presentation deck that will tell the story of the entire complex and numbers. I would imagine that you guys have a really good handle on numbers through the gate, participation rates, that sort of thing. Would that be easy to get from your group?
Yes, it would. And this is for the motocross club. And I apologize for being late.
Oh, you're good.
But yes, we would have, for instance, the last race a few weeks ago was 350 riders. And it averaged out about 3.5 spectators per rider. So it was very good. And again, those are the ones in on the evenings, Friday evening, Saturday evening. Though there, of course, there's not near as many people at the track because they're either going to a motel to stay or they're down at, maybe I mentioned, anyway, at the last race, there's a refrigerator, a brand new refrigerator in back one of the trailers. They were at Best Buy or one of the appliance stores. But anyway,
So they shopped when they.
yes, they do.
Yeah, and then that's definitely one of the stories that I want to be sure to tell is that economic impact beyond just what event they're attending. So yeah, I will. So basically what I plan to do is reach out to each of you individually if you want to preemptively send me information and I can follow up. That would be good. I hope to have a rough draft on. I would hope to have a rough draft at our meeting in October. It will definitely be pushing it for time wise and then my schedule, but for at least be able to have, if I can send it out to the committee to view ahead of when we would need to get on decide which meeting we're getting on at the November commission meetings. So, and of course, I'll work with Kevin and and Alan to see what's going on with their stuff too. But is there anything that I haven't brought up for this presentation that you would like to see included? And even if it comes to mind, feel free to reach out to me later. Wayne?
Yeah, one of the main things we've been working on, trying to get some answers on, we'd like to get new restrooms in out there, outdoor restrooms, running water, stuff like that. But how can we can't do that until we know where that line's gonna go.
Yeah.
So, we gotta get that figured out which way that line's gonna go.
Well, that line should affect us.
Madam Chair, Commissioners, the line is already predetermined. That line, we know exactly where that line is going. So we can certainly plan around.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
That certainly helps.
And they're not just gonna wander. They know.
And I was at a facility in Tennessee this last week. It's the walking horse capital of the world, and it hosts a ton of other kind of events. It really put me in mind of what we have going on out of the Missouri Valley Complex. And one of the key things that they upgraded lately was bathrooms, shower houses, that they were missing out on national contracts for various things because they didn't have those facilities. And when our black tank and gray tank on the horse trailer got taken out in Missouri, it was very good that we had really nice shower houses and bathrooms to use when we landed in Tennessee. So I feel you on that part. All right. Next item on the agenda is any other business. Is there anything general or otherwise that any of the committee members want to be bringing before? Yep. Commissioner?
Thinking about the bathhouse and the restrooms, facility. I think once we get closer on this preliminary plat, I think that would be the next step for this committee to kind of decide, how many men's, how many women's designing that facility, so that we can go back to the commission. Here's our plat, now the next step is putting, restroom facilities out on the grounds so that we can have a design and put it out for bid so that we know, again, to go back to the commission for, we have funds in the reserve for developing this facility. And so I think that honestly is one of the next steps that we should really consider.
Absolutely. Any other new business or any other business? Being as none, our next meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, October 15th, noon here. And at that point, we will expect to hear an update on the wetland report from Moore. We will possibly entertain a preliminary report from the subcommittee on the form, function, and operations discussions, and also hopefully be able to take a look at or discuss the presentation before the commission. And then Steve, I suppose I will work with you and the auditor on getting on one of those committee meeting or commission meetings in November. Okay. All right, unless I hear otherwise, any other topics to cover, I will, or hearing none, I will stand in adjournment for the Missouri Valley Complex Committee. Thank you, everyone.